Imagine this: you're chilling in your own backyard, minding your business, when suddenly you hear a crash. Turns out, your nosy HOA president just tumbled off a ladder while spying on you. But here's the twist: she had no idea you engineered the entire neighborhood's security system, catching her every move on camera. Stick around for this epic tale of petty revenge and sweet justice in suburbia. Hey everyone, welcome back to another wild HOA horror story. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on these insane neighborhood dramas. Like this video if you've ever dealt with a Karen next door, and drop a comment below sharing your own HOA nightmares. Let's dive right in. In the quiet suburbs of Willow Creek, where manicured lawns stretched like green carpets under the watchful eyes of identical colonial homes, life revolved around the iron-fisted rules of the Homeowners Association. The protagonist, Alex, had moved into this seemingly idyllic community 5 years earlier, drawn by the promise of stability after a chaotic career in tech security. Little did the residents know, Alex wasn't just another homeowner. He had single-handedly designed and installed the neighborhood's state-of-the-art security system back when the development was still under construction. Hired by the original developers as a consultant, Alex had wired every streetlight with hidden cameras, embedded motion sensors in the communal fences, and linked it all to a central hub that could monitor everything from stray cats to suspicious shadows. He kept this secret close, preferring anonymity in his new life, but it gave him an unseen edge in the petty battles that defined HOA life. The HOA was ruled by Margaret, a sharp-tongued widow in her late 50s who patrolled the streets like a self-appointed sheriff, with her clipboard always at the ready and a network of informants among the retirees. Margaret enforced rules with zealous precision: no visible trash cans after 8 a.m., grass no taller than 2 inches, and absolutely no unapproved modifications to properties. Alex's home, a modest two-story at the end of a cul-de-sac, had become her latest obsession. It started innocently enough, a complaint about his recycling bin being slightly askew, but escalated when Alex decided to install a small vegetable garden in his backyard. The garden was tucked away, hidden from the street by a tall privacy fence, but Margaret claimed it violated some obscure bylaw about aesthetic uniformity. Alex ignored the first warning letter, knowing his setup was well within code. But that only fueled her determination. As weeks turned into months, Margaret's surveillance intensified. She would drive by slowly in her beige sedan, peering over hedges, or linger at neighborhood gatherings to quiz others about Alex's activities. Unbeknownst to her, Alex's security system captured it all. Timestamps of her car idling outside his driveway, footage of her snapping photos from the sidewalk. He reviewed the logs occasionally, amused by her persistence but not yet alarmed. The neighborhood buzzed with whispers about her antics. Other residents shared stories of fines for holiday lights left up too long, or driveways power washed without permission. Alex, however, bided his time, his tech background teaching him patience in the face of intrusion. One crisp autumn morning, as leaves swirled in the breeze, Alex noticed anomalies in his system alerts. Motion detectors along his property line had triggered multiple times overnight, but the cameras showed nothing overt, just shadows that could be wildlife. He dismissed it initially, attributing it to raccoons rummaging through compost, but by afternoon, a nagging suspicion grew. Stepping into his backyard, he inspected the fence and found faint scuff marks on the wood, as if someone had leaned against it heavily. That evening, he upgraded his alerts to include audio capture, syncing microphones hidden in the bird feeders he had strategically placed. Margaret, meanwhile, plotted her next move. Convinced Alex was hiding something more sinister than tomatoes, perhaps an illegal shed or unauthorized pool, she recruited a reluctant neighbor, Tom, to keep watch. Tom, a mild-mannered accountant, declined to get involved directly but mentioned in passing that Alex seemed too private for the community. This only spurred Margaret on. She began timing her walks to coincide with Alex's absences, circling the block like a vulture. The tension built subtly, with anonymous notes appearing in mailboxes warning of violations under investigation. Alex, reviewing his footage, spotted Margaret pausing at his gate, her phone raised as if photographing his mailbox. He chuckled to himself, knowing the system's AI could facial recognize repeat visitors and flag patterns. As the days shortened, the neighborhood prepared for its annual fall festival. a mandatory event where HOA dues funded hayrides and pumpkin carvings. Alex attended reluctantly, blending into the crowd, but Margaret cornered him near the cider stand. Though no words were exchanged in this narration, her pointed glares and notebook scribbles spoke volumes. That night, his system pinged again, unauthorized access attempt at the rear perimeter. He pulled up the feed and saw a faint outline of person in dark clothing scaling a neighbor's tree to peer over into his yard. The figure slipped away before identification, but Alex enhanced the image later, confirming his suspicions. Determined to catch the intruder red-handed, Alex reinforced his defenses. He added infrared spotlights that activated on motion, invisible to the naked eye, but glaring on camera. He also looped in a subtle alarm that would vibrate his phone for real-time alerts. The community, oblivious to the brewing storm, carried on with daily routines. Kids biking on sidewalks, dogs walked at dusk, and Margaret's ever-present patrols. Alex's garden flourished, despite the scrutiny, yielding ripe produce that he shared with friendlier neighbors, further irking Margaret, who viewed it as defiance. The escalation peaked on a foggy evening when Alex was away at a work conference. His phone buzzed incessantly with alerts, multiple triggers along the fence line. Switching to live view, he watched in real time as a ladder propped against his neighbor's side of the fence wobbled under the weight of a climber. The figure, clad in a hooded jacket, hoisted themselves up, binoculars in hand, aiming to survey his yard. But the fog and dim light made the perch precarious. As the intruder leaned forward for a better look, the ladder shifted on the damp grass, tipping sideways. A muffled thud echoed through the microphones as the person tumbled down, landing awkwardly in a heap. Alex's heart raced as he recognized the sprawled form of Grat, her clipboard scattered nearby, groaning in pain but alone in the night. He debated calling emergency services anonymously, but decided to let events unfold naturally. Neighbors, hearing the commotion, trickled out, flashlights piercing the mist. Someone dialed 911, and soon sirens wailed in the distance. Margaret, clutching her ankle, tried to wave them off, insisting it was a minor slip while inspecting community standards. But the damage was done. Paramedics arrived, assessing her sprained limbs and possible concussion. Back home the next day, Alex reviewed the full footage. Margaret's arrival with the ladder borrowed from Tom's garage, her clumsy ascent, the fall captured in high definition from multiple angles. The security system, his own creation, had documented every second, including audio of her muttering about non-compliant gardens as she climbed. He saved the files securely, pondering his next steps in this game of suburban chess. The neighborhood murmured about the incident, some sympathetic to Margaret's accident, others secretly relieved at her temporary sidelining. Alex, however, knew this was just the beginning of her unraveling. As she recovered at home, bandaged and bitter, the stage was set for confrontation, with Alex holding all the aces. The fallout from Margaret's fall rippled through Willow Creek like a stone skipped across a pond. News of the HOA president's mishap spread quickly via group chats and front porch gossip, with varying accounts embellishing the drama. Some said she was chasing a loose dog. Others whispered she was spying on that secretive guy at the end of the street. Alex, maintaining his composure, went about his routine, tending his garden and waving politely to passersby. Internally, he prepared his evidence, backing up the videos to cloud storage and noting timestamps for clarity. Margaret, confined to her living room with a cast on her ankle and bruises blooming across her arms, seethed with indignation. She fired off emails from her laptop, demanding the HOA board convene virtually to address safety hazards in the community, namely, uneven fences that she blamed for her tumble. Unaware of the eyes watching her every digital move, she rallied her allies, insisting the incident was no fault of her own. The board, a mix of compliant retirees and reluctant volunteers, scheduled a meeting, but attendance was sparse. Many residents had grown weary of her tyranny. Alex received a certified letter days later, accusing him of negligence for not maintaining his property line, which allegedly contributed to her injury. It demanded compensation for medical bills and threatened legal action. He read it with a smirk, knowing the truth lay in his hard drives. Deciding to play defense, he attended the virtual board meeting incognito, listening as Margaret spun her tale into open discussions at the local coffee shop. Her
A few
voice,
brave
strained
souls
from
shared
pain
their
meds,
own Margaret
painted
stories.
Alex as a rogue
Fines
element,
for bird
disrupting
feeders
harm
deemed unsightly.
Harassment over car parking angles. Alex, overhearing one such conversation while grabbing a latte, felt a surge of solidarity. He anonymously emailed select neighbors snippets of footage, not the fall itself, but earlier instances of Margaret snooping to gauge reactions without revealing his hand. As weeks passed, Margaret's recovery stalled. Physical therapy sessions revealed a torn ligament requiring surgery. Bedridden more often, she doubled down on her campaign, hiring a lawyer to draft a lawsuit against Alex. The attorney, a slick operator from downtown, requested property inspections, but Alex demurred, citing privacy. Tension mounted as Halloween approached, decorations popping up despite HOA restrictions on excessive displays. Margaret, from her window, noted violations furiously, but her immobility limited enforcement. Alex, meanwhile, delved deeper into his system's archives, uncovering a pattern. Margaret's intrusions dated back months, including attempts to tamper with communal cameras. His cameras. One clip showed her fiddling with a streetlight housing, unaware it logged access attempts. This evidence shifted his strategy from passive to proactive. He consulted a friend in legal tech, who advised documenting everything for a potential counterclaim of trespass and harassment. The neighborhood's undercurrent of unrest bubbled up at a town hall-style gathering in the community center. Residents aired grievances, from arbitrary fines to invasive oversight. Margaret, attending on crutches, defended her actions as necessary for upholding values. The meeting devolved into heated exchanges, though no voices rose in this narration. Body language and pointed fingers conveyed the chaos. Alex sat quietly in the back, observing, his phone recording discreetly. In the aftermath, alliances formed. A group of younger families proposed reforming the HOA bylaws, limiting presidential powers. Margaret dismissed them as upstarts, but her influence waned as more stories surfaced. Alex received supportive notes slipped under his door, encouraging him to stand firm. He enhanced his home setup, adding smart locks and perimeter drones for aerial views, all tied into his master network. As winter loomed, with frost-etching windows, Margaret's lawyer pressed for mediation. Alex agreed, arriving at the neutral office with a USB drive in pocket. The session began cordially, but as claims were laid out, Alex revealed the first video, Margaret's ladder ascent, her fall in slow motion. The room's atmosphere shifted. The lawyer's confidence faltered. Margaret's face paled, realizing the implications. Alex explained calmly how the system, his creation, had captured it all proof of trespass. The revelation stunned them. Margaret stammered excuses, but the evidence was irrefutable. The lawyer advised settling quietly to avoid publicity. Alex demanded dismissal of all claims, reimbursement for his time, and her resignation from the HOA. Grudgingly, she acquiesced, signing papers that afternoon. Word leaked out subtly. By evening, the neighborhood knew of her downfall. Yet, loose ends remained. Margaret's allies questioned the footage's legality, but Alex's credentials as the system's architect silenced doubts. He hosted an informal gathering at his home, sharing redacted clips to educate residents on privacy rights. The garden, now a symbol of resistance, became a communal spot for barbecues fostering unity. A snow-blanketed Willow Creek. Margaret listed her house for sale. Her reign ended. Alex, vindicated, reflected on the irony. The very system meant to protect had exposed the threat within, but shadows of new conflicts lingered, hinting at future dramas in this deceptively peaceful suburb. With Margaret's departure on the horizon, Willow Creek entered a phase of tentative renewal. Her house, a stately colonial with pristine shutters, attracted buyers quickly, but the community vetted them warily. Lessons learned from past overlords. Alex, now an unofficial advisor on security matters, fielded requests from neighbors to audit their own setups. He shared tips sparingly, maintaining his low profile while ensuring the network's integrity. The HOA board, reformed under interim leadership, revised bylaws to emphasize transparency and limit inspections to consensual ones. Fines were capped, and appeals processes strengthened. Residents breathed easier, decorating for the holidays without fear of reprimand. Alex's garden lay dormant under snow, but plans for spring expansion buzzed in his mind. Perhaps a greenhouse, fully compliant yet bold. Margaret, recovering in a rented apartment downtown, nursed her grudges privately. She avoided suburbia, focusing on bridge clubs and volunteer work. But occasional drives past Willow Creek stirred old resentments. Unbeknownst to her, Alex's system had flagged her car's license plate during one such pass, alerting him to potential returns. As spring thawed the ground, new faces arrive, a young family in Margaret's former home, eager to integrate without drama. They hosted block parties, bridging divides. Alex participated, his secret role in the upheaval fading into legend whispers of the guy who took down the HOA queen. But peace proved fragile. A new board member, inspired by Margaret's zeal, proposed stricter pet policies, igniting debates. Alex monitored discreetly, ready to intervene if needed. His security hub hummed steadily, a silent guardian. One evening, as blossoms bloomed, Alex reviewed old logs, deleting redundant files, but archiving the pivotal ones. The fall footage, a cornerstone of justice, reminded him of vulnerability's flip-side power in knowledge. The neighborhood flourished, petty squabbles giving way to cooperation. Alex's life stabilized, his tech passed a quiet asset. Yet, in suburbia's underbelly, new Karens lurched, waiting for their moment. For now, though Willow Creek savored its hard-won tranquility, unaware of the watchful eyes ensuring it endured, the saga reached its climax as summer sun baked the lawns, bringing closure to the ripples of Margaret's fall. With her gone, the HOA transformed into a supportive entity, funding community gardens and events. Alex's vegetable patch inspired replicas, turning backyards into vibrant oases. He revealed his security expertise selectively, upgrading the system pro bono with AI enhancements for better threat detection. Residents appreciated the safety net, crime rates plummeting. Margaret settled in a condo far away, faded from memory, her story a cautionary tale shared at gatherings. Alex, content, pursued hobbies, his home a sanctuary. In the end, the ladder incident proved a turning point, exposing flaws and forging resilience. Willow Creek thrived, a testament to balance between rules and freedom. With Alex's hidden hand guiding from the shadows. Thanks for sticking around to the end of this crazy HOA takedown story. If you enjoyed it, smash that like button, subscribe for more epic neighborhood dramas, and hit the bell for notifications. Share your own HOA horror stories in the comments below. I read everyone. See you in the next video.